Now we need an offensive line coach and new OC. Let's work it, man. Let's work it, homie. For real. Shout out Holden in the building, man. B-Flow is extended. B-Flow is extended. Let's get it, man. Shout out Brian Flores once again. Shout out Brian Flores once again. Macy Yinny in the building. Macy Yinny in the building. Let's go, man. Holden say you should be grateful. I put NBA Youngboy on hold. Appreciate your big dog, homie. No cap. SKOL Vikings, man. Rimway, SKOL Vikings, homie. Yeah. Yo, can you listen to my song? Famous J in the building. What song, bro? What song, homie? You hear me? Drop the link, homie. Yeah. You hear me? Real purple and gold Minnesota Vike. I'm glad he's back. Everybody's glad. Everybody is glad Flores is back, bro. I repeat, everybody is glad Flores is back. Very important. Probably the best news of the year. Best news of the year, man. Hands down, man down. Addison charges dropped, but my boys might not be wearing purple next year. Don't even worry about it, Anthony G. Webb. Jordan Addison will be in purple. I repeat, Jordan Addison will be in purple, dog. You hear me? No cap, man. Yeah. Shout out Brian Flores and the Vikings. Get it done. Now, I don't know if there's some stipulation to this. I saw something where it said if Brian Flores, if Brian Flores gets offered a head coaching job, he may still be able to take it. I'm not sure how that will work. Let's just go ahead and get into it, man. Heavy. Shout out B-Flow, bro. B-Flow in the building. We know B-Flow is much needed. You cannot replace a B-Flow, man. Period. Go ahead and tap into this article right quick, man, and break it down. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Anthony G. Webb. So it's like, it's kind of like he extended, but did he really fully extend, right? So if he gets offered a head coaching job, he will still take that, correct? So it's really stipulations to it. You know, so if the Steelers say, hey, boom, we call you up, hey, Flores, we want you. You hear me? They say, Flores, hey, man, we want you, dog. Yeah. You know, he can technically take that head coaching position job at the end of the day, bro, period. I mean, let me know let me know if those are the stipulations of the whole thing, man. I'm going to go ahead and get into the article real quick and break it down. Yeah, but he left the building, so it's looking good. Hey, bro, hopefully he don't take that no head coaching job, bro. You know, let me go ahead and dive into it right quick. And well, come on, man, get up out of here, man. Brian Flores, Vikings agree to new DC contract, reportedly remains Steelers Ravens head coach candidate. So he is still a candidate for the Steelers and Ravens head coaching job. The Vikings have signed defensive coordinator Brian Flores to a contract extension. Brian Flores is still in the mix on head coaching job despite his new deal with Minnesota. I'm told he just interviewed in person with the Steelers earlier this week. So it's he got an extension, but it's not a full done deal. You know, so basically he's extended, but it's not all the way done. Basically, he can still go and take a head coaching job, period. Let's see if we can get more into it, man. See if we see the real stipulations and what the contract really is about. But the fact he was extended, period, I don't care what the Steelers or the Ravens are talking about. I don't think he even would took the extension if he was even really was planning to go be a head coach over there around yonder anyway, right? That's my opinion on it. See what's up, man. Brian has a unique ability to connect with players, understand their skill sets, and put them in position to maximize their impact on the field. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell said as part of the announcement, the identity of our offense is a reflection of his leadership and preparation. On a personal level, I really value the relationship we built over the last 3 years, and that shared trust, alignment, and high standard will continue to be critical to our success. You're damn right, homie. You're damn right. Give me 1 second, man. Yeah. According to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport, Flores remains a candidate for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens head coaching vacancies. He'll stay with Minnesota if he doesn't land either job, per Pelissero and Rappaport. Flores received interest for roles identical to his current position, in addition to appearing in head coaching searches during the current hit cycle. Pelissero noted that Flores had interest from numerous teams as a defensive coordinator and interviewed with the Washington Commanders for the role. But his extension ensures that the only way he'll leave Minnesota is if he's hired as a head coach. So basically, boom, it's basically sealed and dealed, right? But like I say, it's still room for a little bit of concern, so it's not 1,000% done, set in stone that he will return. Because like I say, the Steelers pick up the phone, boom, hey, Flores, we want you. Ravens do the same. Flores, we want you, bro. He can really go. So it's good news, it's great news, but at the end of the day, it's still kind of an iffy situation, bro. You hear me? Heavy. You know what I mean? It's still an iffy situation, homie. Yeah. I mean, definitely be happy, be excited about the extension, but at the end of the day, bro, he could technically still take the head coaching job. I mean, let's say in 2 days, 3 days, the Steelers say, hey, bro, we want you. What's up? We want to hire you. Or the Ravens come, we want to hire you as our head coach. Then what? Definitely excited the extension is done. It's a pretty weird situation anyway, right? Like you give him an extension, but it's still opportunities for him to leave and go be a head coach. You would think once the deal is done, then boom, it's in the contract. He remains the DC. But whatever the case may be, homie, the fact that the extension is done is definitely great news. But we got to wait and see how it really turns out and pans out, right? Right. But he's not going to get picked up as another team's DC. Yeah, that's facts, Anthony G. Webb. That's great news. But at the end of the day, you got two teams remaining, the Steelers and the Ravens, and it could go really either way. Aiden in the building. My dog Aiden Chris in the building. What up, homie? Heavy. B-Flow is back, but kind of not technically back all the way, If Kevin O'Connell missed the playoffs, could Brian Flores be our head coach? Oh, definitely. If he remains in the building. Like, I think you definitely be excited about the extension, but you have to wait until it's really official. All this means right now is that he signed the extension, right? Boom. All right, cool. But at the end of the day, like I say, bro, like the article says, I'm sure like the contract says, if the Ravens or the Steelers come out there and say, hey, we want you, Flores, he can go anytime. We just really got to wait and see how it turns out for real. And that's what I was thinking. He's going to let KOC shoot himself in the foot and take over in Minnesota. I would not be mad, bro. I would not be mad at all. Not one bit, man. Let's see where we at in this article. He'll stay with Minnesota if he doesn't land either job, per Pelissero and Rappaport. Flores received interest for roles identical to his current position, in addition to appearing in head coaching searches during the current hiring cycle. Did I read that part already? Pelissero noted that Flores had interest from numerous teams as a defensive coordinator and interviewed with the Washington Commanders for the role, but his extension ensures that the only way he'll leave Minnesota is if he's hired as a head coach. He was also linked to the Dallas Cowboys opening at defensive coordinator. Flores has familiarity with the Steelers as he served as a senior defensive assistant and linebackers coach for Pittsburgh in 2022. He also met with the Ravens on January 13th and reportedly has a second in-person interview scheduled. It's easy to see why the two AFC North rivals are interested in Flores, as his tenure in Minnesota has been largely successful. The Vikings ranked number 7 in the NFL in scoring defense during the 25 season, allowing just 19.6 points per game. They also amassed 49 sacks, the 5th most among all teams. Flores previously served as head coach of the Miami Dolphins from 2019 to 21, compiling a 24-25 record. And we all know what happened with, the whole situation in Miami. But Flores, that's definitely great news. I'm just very interested to wait and see what happens with this head coaching thing, bro. You hear me? Heavy. Interested to wait and see what happens with this head coaching situation, bro. Like, who offers him? Do the Steelers come back, this week and say, hey, we want you? You know what I mean? Do the Ravens come and say, hey, we want you in the building? Hey, man, you never know, dog. Heavy. Kevin O'Connell trusts the 27-ranked offense out there. He should be fired. We're the only team in the division that can't win a playoff team. They got to make you. It's piss poor, Aiden. It's piss poor, dog, early. Sam Darnold might win a Super Bowl 1 year after Minnesota let him go. Yeah, he might, man. He might, depending on how they play. Seattle has been managing him very well. Let's not forget, homie. Seattle has managed him very well all season long. They've not asked him to do too much. They haven't put the ball in his hands too much. They run the ball and they play great defense, right? Boom. That's the key to success for Sam Darnold. Point blank, period, no cap. That's the type of football you play with Sam Darnold as your quarterback. They go out there versus the Rams. They make him throw 30, 40 times. He'll give you 2-3 interceptions. I guarantee it. But McDonald has managed him very well. And he supplies him with the great defense as well, homie. Yeah. One thing McDonald does that KOC didn't do right is run the football. You hear me? Heavy. Period. Point blank. No cap. You know what I mean, homie? Heavy. That's the difference in McDonald and the Seahawks and KOC and the Vikings. They put Sam Darnold in the best position to play great football. What did KOC do in the playoffs? He wanted to force the pass, put Sam Darnold in bad situations. Act like he didn't know who Sam Darnold is or was, period. And that was the difference right there. You hear me? Heavy, homie. No cap, man. No cap. And that's just where we at with it, man. So boom. We'll see how it all turns out and pans out. But Flores remains so far. Flores stays in the building so far. But let's calm it down. It's not guaranteed fully yet. We have to see what happens with the Steelers, right? With the Ravens, right? Now, if they hire a head coach tomorrow, if they hire a head coach by the end of the week, then boom, you have room to be happy for real. But until then, I'm not going to go crazy, homie. I'm not going to get overly excited. Now, I'm happy, definitely happy that the extension is done. But until the Steelers and Ravens hire a head coach, and we still don't know what's going on fully. It's still really up in the air. You know what I mean? And reading that article just definitely explained it even more. So, yes, he has an extension. Yes, as of right now, he is the Vikings defensive coordinator. But at any given moment and time, you know, if the Steelers call or the Ravens call, he could be gone. So the Vikings still must plan accordingly. I'm going to check and see if there's any more news out there around yonder on that. I don't think as long as the case in court, he's going to get a head coaching job. Yeah, the whole NFL thing, you got to ask, has the NFL put it behind him? Will owners still hold it against him, right? Will that really hold him back? But we know we know Flores is a real hot commodity, baby, a real hot commodity, right? Right. So sooner or later, that won't affect him at all. And depending on how KOC does next year, how the Vikings perform next year, right? You never know, dog. Brian Flores could be the head coach of the Vikings eventually. Just how the cookie may crumble, homie. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's what it is, homie. Yeah. Shout out my boy Andre in the building, my boy Dre in the building. What up, big dog? What up, big dog? Yo. I blast the FTW hard today. What you say, homie? Hey, why you blast the man? What you say, homie? Yeah. Come on now, man. Yeah. 2022, if we had Flores instead of Donatel, we'd already have a chip. And we probably definitely would have beat the Giants first round, homie. Yeah, a chip. I don't know about that one, but we definitely would have got out the first round with Flores in 22, huh? I really believe that, dog. No cap, homie. Yeah. My boy Anthony G. Webb in the building, man. Yeah, homie. Yeah. you know? But shout out Flores. I just hope he remains a Viking. I hope the Steelers don't come 2 days from now and offer him a job and say, hey, we want you, bro, for real. Right? I really, really don't. I hope the damn Ravens don't come over here round yonder if they lose out on certain options and say, hey, we want you, homie. Yeah. Because he can and will be gone. So until then, until I'm for sure and for certain that he is going to be the defensive coordinator, huh, next year. I mean, this extension is cool. It's all good. But at the end of the day, homie, certain things can still happen and transpire. Now, I'm not saying it will, but I'm just saying, hey, I'm happy right now the deal is done. But I'm paying very close attention to what goes on behind the scenes, bro, for real. Jordan Addison needs to stay out of trouble from now on. He needs to be training and catching passes with J.J. McCarthy. Hey, bro, that's a big fact, but he really wasn't in trouble, homie. You hear me, Aiden Chris? I mean, charges were dropped. He is innocent. He is not guilty. You know what I'm saying, my boy? Now, why is he out at 3 a.m? I understand that. Take his ass to bed, lay down, focus on football, homie, period. But at the end of the day, he didn't commit no crimes. And even though he may have been tipsy or whatever, I mean, shit. Huh? I mean, how many people are tipsy every damn day, right, my boy? How many people go to the casino and get drunk or drink and gamble, homie? Yeah. I mean, that's part of the night life. And I ain't saying Jordan Addison has to be part of the nightlife, but at the end of the day, homie, he didn't commit no crimes. Charges were dropped. And him and his lawyer and his team are suing that casino for false arrest. Whether it's stereotyping, whether it's false judgment, whether it's targeting, whatever, homie, at the end of the day, they are under investigation. Now, does Jordan Addison need to stay out the spotlight? Yeah. Should he be outside at 3 a.m. in the morning? Hell to the no. Should he be working with McCarthy? Yeah. But like I know, right, homie? It's a certain amount of time they rest, they relax from the grueling season. I mean, some guys don't start training again until after 2, 3 months. You know what I mean? Some even longer than that. Yeah. So at the end of the day, definitely he needs to focus on football, period. But we can't sit here and paint the picture that this man is a true criminal when charges were dropped. JA ain't getting an extension. This gonna be this gonna be his year to show out, so he gets the bag with another team. Will he get an extension? I mean, who knows? We don't know that for sure. Anthony G. Webb, he could come out, put up 1,000 yards, homie. Yeah, he could come out and ball for real. Yeah. And the Vikings may not have a choice but to extend him, right? Or to give him an extension, right? So at the end of the day, homie, we don't know nothing for sure. But right now, what he needs to focus on and work on is working on his craft. You hear me? Working on his game, homie. Yeah. Now, it may come down to Jordan Addison or Jalen Naylor. It may come down between those two. I mean, who would you really go with? Who do you really think is more talented? But the Vikings got to make a decision on Naylor this year. This offseason, bro, period. So Naylor could be gone already. And then with the extra draft picks, could the Vikings, release Naylor and just let it be what it is? How much are they willing to pay Naylor? How much will they give Naylor, right? Right. How much is Naylor really worth? Do you break the bank for him? Do you overpay him slightly? I mean, what do you think other teams will give for Jalen Naylor? All things we have to really sit back and think about. If they can keep all of them, I would really love that. Because that gives you more chemistry, more cohesion, man, for a reason, right? Right. So, boom. I don't want Naylor to go. I don't want Addison to go at all. I want them to put in work with McCarthy, grind it out with McCarthy. Heavy, man. Yeah. No cap. I think best case scenario is all them being back in the building once again. One thing you can't take for granted is chemistry, being on the same page, communication, understanding the playbook, all players being on the same accord, right? Right. That definitely makes a big difference. Heavy, man. Yeah. Hu Yang in the building. Shout out Hu Yang in the building. Who's gonna be your DC? Hu Yang, you wild, homie. Hu Yang, you super wild, homie. As of right now, it's Flores Hu Yang, but he can be there one day and be gone tomorrow. I mean, I read the article. We know what's in the contract. Yes, technically he is signed. He did get the extension. But one phone call, one wrong move from the Steelers, we're back to square one. Or one phone call from the Ravens, boom, we're back to square one. So be appreciative, be happy. You can even be excited, but I'm not going to overdo it until I see the Steelers have hired a head coach and until I see the Ravens have hired a head coach. And that's just the bottom line, man, for real. I don't care about nothing else, what nobody else talking about. It's official, but it's not 100% official. You dig me? You get my drifts? So let's see how tomorrow goes. Let's see how Friday goes and through the weekend and see what happens. Now, I don't know the full contract of how long the Steelers can still come back and say, hey, we want to hire you, or how long these teams have to hire someone. But at the end of the day, until it's said and done, until I see the Ravens and Steelers sign a head coach on the dotted line, right, I'm not finna go crazy about it. Now, I hear the news, I get information where boom, oh, they have hired such and such. All right, bet. Then we can all be cool about it. But until then, don't forget, you know, don't forget, right? I'm not saying it will happen, homie, but don't forget. It's still an opportunity, it's still a chance for Flores, to leave. He believes KOC will bring us a Super Bowl. I called him dumbass fool. My boy Dre on one, man. My boy Dre be on one, man. You know? My boy Dre say he is not playing, bro, at all. Oh, my dog Dre say he is not playing at all, homie. Oh man, yo, for real. I don't know, Dre, man. I don't know how. It all depends on how KOC does, bro. If KOC gets out of his ego, bro. If KOC adapts, if KOC changes his scheme to fit McCarthy and fit his quarterback, if KOC runs the ball, if he actually puts in the work to change and not stuck in his ways, you know, and if Flores remains and the defense continues to play like it has been playing, no, KOC won't win us a bowl, but the defense can win us a Super Bowl. And if KOC can put this team in the right position, his offense in the right position, which just like Quasi's ability to draft, we don't trust that. What reason has KOC given us to trust him to stick into the game plan and stick into the new program? You hear me? Early. So hell to the no. But we got to wait and see, Dre, how KOC responds. You know, dog, what does this offense look like next year? Training camp, OTAs, whatever, man. Boom. We got to really wait and see, you know? Quasi needs to make this his best draft where he can kick rocks with KOC. Big facts, bro. Shout out my boy G Web in the building, homie. Big facts. You hear me, homie? Yeah. One more again. This is the most important draft of Quasi's career, of the new regime. You got 10 picks, homie. You got to make it really work. I repeat, you got to make it really work. You know, you need at least 5, 6, like I said before, 5, 6 picks to hit. It's on Quasi, man. And like I said on the last live, right? Boom. If there's something going on behind the scenes, something fishy going on, all right, bet, bro. Boom. You know? But at the end of the day, dog, it is what it is. This is on Quasi. All eyes on Quasi, right? Right. No cap, bro. No cap. They catch passes all they want with McCarthy, just like Thielen. It won't work with that weak ass O'Connell's playbook. Big facts, Hu Yang. Big facts, Hu Yang. That's the main factor. That's the main factor. You know, KOC will be the main factor, homie. Yeah, point blank. Period, homie. No cap. Straight up. Will KOC continue the process? Will he continue to fix his scheme once again to fit his quarterback and fit his offense? Will he lean on the run more? Will he do what he needs to do for this offense to be very successful, to play complementary football? If he does, then we got a shot. We got a real chance. If not, we're going to see the same shit next year over and over again. Period, homie. Quasi is the main factor in this offseason, in this draft. And KOC is the main factor going into next season. We ain't got the cap. We ain't got the cap for what, Anthony G. Webb? I mean, technically, we ain't got to pay Addison to after next year. And I believe the salary cap will increase after next year, homie. Yeah. You know, heavy, man. Yeah. So it's definitely room to wiggle, especially if they don't re-sign Naylor, right? Right. So it all comes down what they want to do with Naylor, how they feel about Jalen Naylor. Will they keep him, release him, and you let him go? Boom, it opens up more salary cap space. But if you want to keep Naylor and you try to keep Addison next year, depending on where they're at with cap space, man, that's going to tell it all, you know, heavy. But they can definitely make some moves to free up some space to sign that boy Addison if they want to. JJ McCarthy has had best relationship with Jalen Naylor when JJ McCarthy was looking good. That's why I say, Aiden Chris, you want to keep all them boys together if possible, homie. Yeah. Right? You want to keep all them boys together if possible. For real. You know, we saw Jalen Naylor and McCarthy connect on some big time plays. You know, they really got in a rhythm, got in a groove, period. So we're going to see how it all turns out and pans out. Let's see if we can get to any Brian Flores news or video breakdowns as well about the whole situation.